Adam, you're looking special tonight.
You look special every night, sir.
I appreciate that. I do look like a younger, more attractive version of you.
That just warmed Connor's heart.
Warm the cockles of my heart. I don't know if I could say that on air.
I don't know if you can either.
But you know what I can say?
Yeah, I know what you need to say.
Damn, brother, I don't believe I admit that. Isn't that what Lewis Resort's in?
Yep.
Before we get kicked off, views opinion expressed in this broadcast are not necessarily those of the SCV, HG, any division, brigades, camps, or other subsidiaries, especially those of its executive director.
That's right.
Only those of us who are expressing them. So if the executive director expresses them, then I guess those are his views and opinions. But happy Monday. Hope everybody is having a great start to their week. Just as a little reminder, going to go ahead and remind everybody at the top of the show, we will not be live next Monday.
I thought it's a holiday or something.
Oh, God, Moose has got his Adam card. I thought you were just going to show him to him and, like, you can look, but you cannot touch.
This is like my prized possession in this office, and I have a national championship ring in this office. Yeah, no. I do actually have a national championship ring.
There you go.
Yeah.
In all sports baseball.
Huh.
Yeah.
Adam played baseball.
Yep.
I am technically a baseball national champion.
I'm just ready for Harrison to try to pronounce a certain name tonight.
No. I refuse to say that name.
You should.
I will say his name is Andrew.
No, it's not. Good evening, Wes Franklin. Good evening, Derek Glover. Hello, David Pope. Army of Tennessee Councilman Roy Hudson. How are you? Jason and Lloyd, good evening. David Pope again. Dr. Sandy Mitchum. Hope y'all caught last week's episode with Dr. Mitchum. Thank you for being here since guest, because I was at a city hall or city meeting here dealing with a heritage violation in Mississippi. So I could not be in two places at once, and needed to be there for the heritage fight. So I do apologize for not being on. Past Commander-in-Chief Chuck McMichael, Past Commander-in-Chief Paul Ling. You can get that gram back later on. Lloyd Ma from the Keller Camp in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Robert from Arizona. Susie speaking this evening because she was afraid that we would be talking crap about her when she tuned in. Todd Owens, good to see you. Todd, you really need to come back to national reunions. We miss seeing you. And Past Commander-in-Chief RS Jason Boshears. He says, good evening, gents. I just want to know where's
the gentleman.
Yeah, no kidding.
I guess he's talking to me. So
Yeah, I guess he is talking to you.
Clearly, because he's not talking to me or Moose. That's for sure. But so Adam, how are things in Tennessee this evening?
it is a beautiful night in Tennessee. We didn't get out of the 70s today, so I am sitting out on the porch enjoying a cigar. And this is the first time I've done chat from out here since summer began, and just looking forward to being with y'all tonight.
Well, I'm so glad that you're back. This is your first episode since National Reunion.
That's right.
Anything special you want to talk about that the membership needs to know that you can divulge since the National Reunion? Of course, like the in the budget now, we can have potentially staff to keep the museum open once we hire those people, of course, on weekends. And anything else besides dues are due, and headquarters is busy with dues being due?
That is the big thing right now. We're rocking along trying to get everybody's dues processed. And if you have not submitted your dues, you need to do so immediately, because the end of the month is the end of the grace period. So anything received after September 1, we have to assess a $5 penalty to. So get your dues in.
Yeah. Everybody has a duty to this organization, and basic duty is to pay your dues in a timely manner.
Please.
yeah, we're only as strong as that. And yes, and past Commander in Chief Bo Shears is correct. Take care of your 990. That, of course, is the document that we have to file that annually, correct?
Yes, every camp has to file one of those annually to stay in good standing with the national organization. So even if your camp makes $0 during the year, you need to list at least send in a EZ 990 form with the IRS and tell them you did not make any money.
Because what ends up happening is your lack of doing that ends up affecting everybody. With the nonprofit status.
Absolutely.
So, well, I guess you're going to talk. I haven't looked at anything you sent in today. I was busy. I'm getting ready to go to the beach next week, so I have not had a chance to see what you have sent in. I'm guessing you sent in some stuff about the car show?
We sent in a lot of stuff, yeah. So the car show's in there. If y'all want to go ahead, and I think Moose has been rocking and rolling with the pictures, getting them in order. So
yeah,
he's ready. I'm ready.
They're in order.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the car show right here. We had probably one of our best ones since we've been having the cruise in at Elm Springs in July. And this is, I think, our fourth or fifth one we've had at Elm Springs. And it's called the Rebel Rouser. And so it's the third Saturday in July. So if you have a classic car and want to bring it to show with us, make plans to be here the third Saturday in July. Or if you just want to come and see some classic cars, it's a great time to come and see those cars and also check out the museum and the house while you're there as well. We had about 70 cars, 65, 70 cars before it started raining. And as soon as that first raindrop hit, it's like everybody cleared. And just a few cars were left after that. But luckily, it didn't happen until around lunchtime. So we had a good morning of showing cars. Commander Boshier says 75 cars were there. So he was working the front gate, so he should know. I was inside working in the gift shop. So I didn't get
in the air conditioning.
The air conditioning, right. I mean, they're perfect for being the executive director. And that's one of those.
You got past Commander in Chief out there smoking down.
And the key word there is past.
Yeah, true.
But he did it while he was still Commander in Chief too. So, but anyway, I digress on that. At 75 cars, and the reason he likes to work the gate though is you can smoke cigars while you're doing that. So maybe he had the right idea after all.
Well, that is a good trade off. I could just see him though sitting out there, little feet swinging off of the off a stool with a little like a little baseball counter.
Now the real question is, how many cigars did you smoke that day, Jason?
One for every car, and not enough for every one of them.
What was cool this weekend, not only we had the car show that night during the day, but that night we had a concert. And you can't really tell it because of how big our yard is, but there's 120 people spread out across the yard there listening to the two bands that came to perform that night. And we had a lot of food trucks show up that evening and some other vendors. So it was a real busy day for us. I think I left about 11 o'clock that night, maybe a little bit later, but it was worth it. We brought some people onto our property that haven't been there before, and that's what it's all about.
Sorry, I'm still sharing everything out. So if I miss a cue, just say my name. Hey, next picture.
Hey,
next picture.
Boom, next picture.
Boom, there we go. Who's this ugly fella here? My wife and I did the 127 yard sale this year. I like to share travels when I go out and about. And we were in Gadsden, Alabama. And there is the beautiful Emma Sampson monument there in Gadsden, Alabama. And she was the one who was responsible for helping General Forrest during Straits Raid in May of 63. Abel Straight's trying to get away from General Forrest best he can. He comes to Gadsden, Alabama. There's one bridge across the Black Creek there, and Abel Strait gets across it first and burns it down. So General Forrest gets to it, sees the bridge smoldering, and Emma Sanson tells him, "Hey, General, I know where there's a place you can cross your men. I see our cows walk across this creek all the time." So she gets on General Forrest's horse right behind him, and they go and ford the creek. And he's able to catch up with Abel Strait. And pretty much the next day, Strait surrenders to General Forrest. So she's a true heroine of Dixie, and Gadsden, Alabama honored her with that beautiful monument. Glad to be able to see that.
It is a very beautiful monument. And this next picture does look familiar.
Yeah, you were there.
Well, really quickly, before we talk about this, did you buy any dead people hair?
I didn't this year, actually. No, we didn't buy anything macabre this year. I usually try to find some dead people hair. Didn't see any.
I'd push that out of my mind.
You're welcome.
That would be the room if Moose ever comes to spend the night. We'll put him in the dead hair room. So, dead people hair room.
You're lucky we're on the air. I got a response to that.
Hey, be thankful that Adam would be willing to let you stay at his house.
Oh no, I'm very thankful. I would sleep.
Kayla would be willing to let you stay at her house.
I think Kayla's just going to say yes so she can smother me with a pillow. But then again, apparently she and Adam are my parents.
Yeah. I almost included that picture tonight too, but
I wish you had.
Didn't know if we wanted to get into that or not, but yeah.
Really,
send it to me, and it'll be,
about it.
send it to me, and I'll have it uploaded. It's the last picture we talked
about. We'll have to talk about that after we talk about this. But
I was glad honored to be invited to the Carl and Nancy Ford Southern Education Conference in Jackson, Mississippi. Came down and spoke about the Southern agrarians, and this is a picture of me during my presentation. I had a real good event, and y'all can speak more to that if you want to, but I thought it was a really good event. Y'all had a great lunch provided and good banana pudding, so all was well with the world.
Yeah, whoever asked you to speak on that was a real turd for making you read that again, but you did sell out of everything that you brought from headquarters, so
that's true. I sure did.
So that's good. But yeah, it was a good time. We do appreciate you coming down and learning about these teaching us about these Southern agrarians. There were a lot of people that had never heard of them and had never heard of why is my head going blank, Adam?
Their book, I'll Take My Stand.
Yes. And stuff like that. So it was very, very eye-opening and very interesting.
Thank you. I was glad to come down there and do that, and always good to see our Mississippi compatriots.
It was certainly great to see our folks from Tennessee. You did a great job. Kayla didn't kill Jason. We all thought that was going to be a major problem going into that event. She did look like she thought about it. Kate, I noticed that Jason switched seats after y'all got there. He went from sitting close to his wife, but when Kayla came in and sat close to her, I noticed Jason just slowly left that area.
Smart man.
Yep. Speaking of Jason.
Yeah. As you may know, if you've been to headquarters, we're on the Civil War Trail, and our marker needed replacement, and Past Commander Chief Boshiers was the only person that could fit underneath it, so he replaced it for us. We had the insert, and somebody had the forethought to order two when it was installed, so we finally found that after, once everything was moved out of Elm Springs and into the museum, everything's just a jumble, but we finally found that insert and replaced it, and Commander Boshiers was good enough to put that in for us, so I want to thank him for doing that.
He's a good little feller.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could have just walked underneath it. I think he kind of sat down to try to make it look like he was taller than he is, but I think he can walk underneath it personally.
We've had a lot of good donations and loans to the house. We always talk about the museum, but we have to remember Elm Springs too. This is our original headquarters, and this is what we need to keep going and remember it as well. This parlor set started out at Elm Springs. Over the years, it was purchased and taken to South Carolina, and it's funny how items end up in different places, but it ended its journey back at Elm Springs. The lady who had it in South Carolina contacted us and asked if we would like it back, and definitely we wanted it back. So these two settees are back in Elm Springs.
Those two what?
Settees.
Well, I'm not going to ask what is a settee because you're going to say something smart alecky like those two things in the picture. But I guess it's just
they're small couches.
Okay.
Thank you, Adam.
Yes, and we also have 3 original oil paintings that are of the time period. Right now, we don't have any original paintings at Elm Springs, but now we do. So these 3 have been put on long-term loan to us. This is Lucy McKissick. Excuse me, this is not Lucy McKissick. This is, yes, it is. I'm sorry. Lucy McKissick. She married Thomas Gibson of the Rock City Guards. So she married a Confederate. So that will be a neat little piece to add to our parlors. And this is William Eugene Greenlaw. And he lived in the McKissick house. He married into the McKissick family. His house that he lived in was Ferguson Hall, which is where Van Dorn was shot and killed by a jealous husband. So this, depending on its timeline, it may have been in the house when General Van Dorn was killed. So, which would be a really cool piece to add to our collection, which we have it in our collection now, but that would be a good story to tell with that piece.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding, because Van Dorn's story is very interesting. We've got a lady in Mississippi who actually did a book and wrote a little bit about Van Dorn.
Oh, it's an amazing story. Now, of course, we just finished shooting the Van Dorn movie,
right?
Elm Springs too, and actually, the room where we're going to put this portrait is the room where Van Dorn was shot in the movie. So,
oh wow,
good little tie-in. And yeah, Kayla's right, Harrison. Next time you're at Elm Springs, we got a lot for you to do.
I'm looking forward to it, mainly because Kayla scares me.
Yep.
Yeah,
you and me both, brother. And this is the last portrait. This is Fannie Harold Greenlaw, and we have the music box. This is, of course, her as a young girl. When she got married, her husband gave her a music box, and the music box came with a portrait. So 2 for the price of 1 on that one, and price was free, so you couldn't beat it with a stick. So.
No, you couldn't.
No.
So funny thing, my female girlfriend. I was going to say my female friend. I was going to say my female friend. My girlfriend watches the show, and she's watching, and she's got her daughter with her, and she said, "Shut up, Adam." Anyway, the daughter just asked, "Who is that on the show this week?" He kind of looks like Connor. So there's another one that thinks we kind of look similar. So.
The twin. The funny thing is I've had the same picture for both of y'all on the SCV chat website for at least a year now.
Nobody's noticed it,
and no one's noticed it. I've had more people comment on the pictures I put up of Jason on the website.
Yeah,
but they don't recognize that it's 2 different pictures for y'all.
Like I think in Adam's picture, my picture, Adam's.
No, it's the picture of both of y'all after you won the Robert E. Lee Award.
Yeah.
And I've used the same picture for both of y'all. Didn't switch it, didn't clarify who was which, but everybody hasn't said anything, but they'll say stuff about Jason's picture. Because Jason changes his beard and hair length so much that he goes under multiple disguises. So they'll be like, "That's not Jason." And I'm like, "Are y'all not going to look at the 2 pictures of the same people?" But yeah.
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 Good times.
Good times.
Hey, and here's the big news. SCV chat announced it earlier in the show. Our budget passed, and we had the money in the budget to hire a part-time employee to keep the museum open on Saturday. So we have hired that employee. This past Saturday was his first day by himself. So from now on, as long as we have our employee, our museum will be open on Saturday.
So plan your camp field trips.
That's right. You don't have to look and see if we'll be open. We will be open unless it's a major holiday.
Is the start of college football season a major holiday?
It is for me.
Yes.
Well, we have continued our partnership with the Tennessee State Museum, and they brought down a few more items for us in the past couple of weeks. And these epaulettes belong to Colonel John Goff Ballantyne of the 7th Tennessee Cavalry. And you can see his photographs back there behind it. That's a wartime photo of him. He was rather a dude, decked out in his uniform there and chicken guts up his sleeve. And then that's him post-war. He became a U.S. representative representing Pulaski, Tennessee in Giles County, that district. But so, of course, he survived the war, and these are his epaulettes.
Fantastic.
Well, that's cool. Where's that in relation to in the actual museum, in case anybody goes this Saturday and wants to take a gander?
If you're walking down the center aisle, these are one of the cases facing the center aisle that lead directly underneath the stained glass window.
Okay.
So another item from the Tennessee State Museum. This is an Adams revolver made in England, and it belonged to Lieutenant William M. Sterrett of the 14th Virginia Cavalry, which is from Rockbridge, Virginia. So an A&V item that we're adding to the collection. And he also had an infield that he sawed off for use in the cavalry. And I think it may be the next photograph. If not, it should be.
The infield, you say?
The infield, yeah.
We can move around.
I
have it.
So it's cut off. As you can tell in the photograph, it's a lot shorter than most infields would be, but he's on a horse, so it made it easier for him to carry with him. And the saber. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I just wondering how that would have affected the rifling in it. I mean, is it still? I guess it would still be rifled all the way to the breech.
Mm-hmm. It should be, yeah. But wouldn't have the benefit of traveling the whole barrel, of course.
Right.
Next item is the saber. The first glance, I thought this was just a old wrist breaker, but it is from the Confederate States Armory in Kenansville, North Carolina. So this is a National Confederate made saber, but it's modeled after the old cavalry style sabers.
The knuckle guard's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
I may not know my flowers, but I know my swords when I look at them.
That's right. So the next one that we have on loan is a 2-volume set of Hardy's Tactics. This is an original. I think this was printed in 1855. I'm not going to swear to that, but I think that's 59. It was published in 59, so just before the war. But this is, of course, the go-to tactical manual that helped train soldiers on both sides during the war. And General Hardy, of course, was a corps commander in the Confederate Army. This little shoe, and I mean it's little. It's probably
is it Jason's.
I'm not going to say that it is, but it's about 5 inches. Looks like a size 5, maybe. Little bitty shoe, and it was picked up off of the battlefield in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, right after the battle, and was given to the Tennessee State Museum a number of years ago. but it's a good example of a shoe that was probably worn by a Confederate.
Wow.
I was looking at the number of eyelets on it, and it's 3, so there's no way to easily tell. Easier way to tell.
Yeah. This is a really neat piece, and I'm sorry for the bad picture. You can't really tell much detail on it, but it's a carved ring of Captain Richard Compton, who was captured and taken to where was he taken to? I think
Johnson's Island.
He was taken to Johnson Island, and while he was there, of course, nothing to do. He takes a button off of his coat and he carves a ring out of it.
Mm.
If you're able to see the ring in person, in the center, it's clasped hands. And on either side of the hands, he has his initials, R on one side and C on the other. And the back is a break down the center, I guess, so he could wear it and be able to size it a little bit better. But a really cool piece, and I wouldn't consider this trench art, but prison art, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of along the same sentiments.
That is interesting. If you want to see it more clearly, visit the National Confederate Museum.
That's right. Yeah.
On Saturday.
You can come on Saturday. Yeah, a CSA belt buckle. This came from the Atlanta Depot or Atlanta Arsenal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a common belt buckle that you might see at shows, but hey, it's the first one for our museum.
Yeah. Now, is that brass or is it one of the pewter ones?
It's brass.
Mm.
Yep. And some of those brass molds were really bad. I mean, you could really, because they were all sand cast, and you could really see how porous they were. But this one's a really good cast and not very porous at all. And this is one of my favorite pieces for sure. This was Felix Zollicoffer sold.
Oh, I was going to try to get Harrison to pronounce that name.
Zala what?
Felix Zollicoffer.
Zollicoffer.
Zollicoffer. There you go.
See, I got it. Down pat.
So this was not the actual sword he had with him when he was killed. He was the first Confederate general killed in the Western Theater during the war. And he was killed at Mill Springs, Kentucky, or some people call it Fishing Creek. That's where he was killed. He was wearing, the pictures do not do it justice, but he was wearing kind of a white frock coat. He was standing out like a huge target. So they knew what they were shooting at when they shot him. And, of course, killed there on the battlefield in Kentucky. They took him to Old Nashville Cemetery. That's where he's interred today. But he was from Murray County, Tennessee. So just about 10 minutes from our museum is where he was born. And we think this might be a pre-war sword that was given to him when he joined Confederate service.
Yeah, because we were texting about it earlier, and it looks like the model, I think 1840 light artillery saber, just from the knuckle guard and the curve of the blade.
Yeah, I think you're right. You do know your sabers.
Hey, I like edged weapons.
And the tree that he was killed under has long been since called the Zolly tree. And I think the tree has now fallen down. But here is a piece of the Zolly tree. This came to us a few months back. And once we got the tree, the sword came along. And the sword is on loan from the Tennessee State Museum. And have a nice little collection of Zollicoffer items now. The next item is a CDV or cabinet card that's original, showing General Zollicoffer.
Oh wow! I can't wait. It's actually been a hot minute since I haven't had anything to do and actually been able to go tour the museum. I can't wait to do that, as well as get a tour that has been promised for 4 years at Elm Springs.
Hey, we'll make that happen while you're moving furniture. How about that?
Oh, thank you.
Pivot. Now, if you look to your right,
And the last Zollicoffer item is an engraving that came from, I think, the Leslie's American History or History of the War, showing the death of Zollicoffer. So, and a nice little illustration. I mean, well, nice as far as murder scenes go, but
right.
a nice little illustration depicting that. Well, this would be a good place to pause if y'all want to take a commercial break.
Yeah,
We sure do want to take a commercial break. And for those that are not familiar, our commercial breaks this year are brought to you by two sponsors. One, our Patreons, and Dr. Chris Cummins in Oxford, Mississippi. We're currently reworking his graphic, but it is CMCMD, Knee Pain Treatment Specialist. He is a member of the SCV. He is a supporter of this show. And of course, he is our first half of this, or our season sponsor for right now. If you have a business, a book, anything that you would like to promote here on SCV Chat and help keep us on the air, join our sponsorship level of support on Patreon. We can, or email us at scvyouth@gmail.com, and we can get you the information. Very simple. It's $80 a month in order to become a patron. Sponsor. Of course, we have our $10 a month level, as well as our $30 merch level. So please consider helping keeping us on the air.
We also have a $2 Feed a Moose level. And thank you for that, by the way.
I forgot about the Feed the Moose level.
Yeah, it's general support. You just get to know that you are helping us. And, of course, the $10 level, you get your name scrolling at the end of every episode. And a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff.
I forgot the Feed a Moose a corn dog level.
We'll be right back after this break.
I forgot about that.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Now open on Saturdays.
Well, before we get back into the pictures, I've been going through the chat and pulling some comments. And one member, I think it might have been Past Commander Chief Chuck McMichael, asked if our new employee was an SCV member. And he is. He's a member of the Dillard Judd Camp in Cookeville, Tennessee, and his name is Bentley. So if you come on Saturday, tell Bentley, hey. I tell him Goober says hey. And somebody also wanted to know if Jason was a paid employee. No, Jason's not a paid employee. He just volunteers a lot. So if you want to volunteer, we can put you to work too. Come and see me.
And Jason also wanted to let everybody know it sometimes comes in handy being a troll.
No, I wouldn't call you a troll. I might call you a troglodyte, but no, never a troll.
Yeah, they usually are ugly and eat billy goats.
More like a leprechaun.
They hide under bridges and answer questions in a series of 3, or ask questions in a series of 3.
Next picture.
Next picture, please.
Well, no, that's not. 1 second. We're getting there. There it is.
There we go. Again, not the greatest picture. I'm working on getting things into cases this week. Last week was all about doing grants, and I finished the grants. So now I'm working on filling display cases. And this is a really neat piece. And I imagine you Mississippi fellows might really like this too. Of course, Jefferson Davis died in, tell me what year he died, Moose.
1888.
I think you're right. It might be 1889.
Might be 1889.
But he passed away 1889. They buried him in New Orleans. 4 years later, they decide they want Miss Verena decides she wants him to be interred in Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia. So he has this huge funeral train that takes him from New Orleans to Richmond. And every large city, pretty much every large city, they would take him out and put his body in state somewhere. And one such place was in Montgomery, of course, where he was first sworn in as president of the Confederacy. And these medals, the medal and the ribbon, are from that funeral procession. I guess Confederate veterans were probably wearing these. Those in attendance could wear these. So that's what those are on the bottom. The top is from his funeral wagon. I forget the fancy name for that. Y'all had
catafract.
What's that?
It's a catafract, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Catafalque, yeah.
Something like that.
The catafalque. There you go. And so that is fabric from his catafalque when they took him through Montgomery. And the next image is a photo of the catafalque. So very, very similar, but very different from the one you have on display at Beauvoir.
We got the original.
You got the original, but it was also used in New Orleans. So I read when they disinterred him. So it was used twice, and this was the one they used in Montgomery. And this is the only image I can find of this reinterment ceremony that they had. So a very rare photograph. And the photographer was H.B. Tressler in Montgomery, and his studio was on Dexter Avenue. And that was the same street that they're on right there, Dexter Avenue, as they're taking him to the State House.
Wow.
Let me guess. It's a spoon.
It's a spoon, absolutely. But it's a spoon that belonged to Jefferson Davis. All these next items that I'm showing come from Jefferson Davis's estate. And they're all on loan to our museum by Tennessee compatriot Mike Dunn. So this is a Victorian era spoon. Sterling silver, has Easter on it, but on the finial of the spoon, you can see the initial D for Davis. And it's in a really old box. This is an antebellum era box that was from Memphis. A silver maker there. So cool Davis family piece to have. And this is now I'm sorry I sent it to you upside down, but it says J. Davis on it. And this was found on the lot where Jefferson Davis's home stood in Memphis, Tennessee, when he lived in Memphis for a short while. This came along as part of Mike Dunn's loan to us. And what's the next item? A lot of books came with this too. I don't know if we'll get to any of those today, but probably later on in the show, we'll show you some of the books. Many of them signed by members of the Davis family.
Yeah, I did not realize until talking to Mike at National Reunion how big of a Davis guy he is.
Absolutely.
Which
And
is
just, I think we're all Davis guys because we only had one president. There were a lot of generals, but one president.
Yeah.
And Davis looms very, very large in our history. But Mike really lucked up. This kind of goes to show us that every interaction we have can lead to something for our museum or for our organization. He met this lady online, and she was trying to sell something through Facebook Marketplace. And he contacted her and said, "Hey, I like this picture you have. Do you have anything else?" And she said, "Yeah, I have this, and I have this, I have this." She's a Davis descendant, and she's selling items from the Davis family. So, but let's see, what else do we have there, Moose? So this is from Louisiana, for our Louisiana compatriots watching tonight. One of our compatriots in Louisiana, David White, has loaned this to the museum, and along with a companion piece. This is a bill of sale for slaves, actually. But then when you go to the next item that we have a picture for, this is the insurance policy for the said slaves. And notice the insurance company, still in operation today, still has their headquarters in Hartford, Connecticut, Aetna Insurance Company. They were selling slave insurance policies at that time.
You mean to tell me that the North profited over the institution of slavery, but the South's the one that gets all the blame for it?
Absolutely. So that's why these items are so important to our collection, because they're going to be able to show that while the South, exactly what you just said, while the South gets blamed for slavery, the North was profiting off of the institution, because the name of the slave trader that was on that bill of sale, guess where he was born? Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So when the war's over, he goes back to Pennsylvania, pretty as you please, with a pocket full of money.
Shocked, I tell you.
So we be these are already in a case museum, but we'll be trying to put some stories with those pretty soon.
Hey, changing subjects, but not changing subjects. So the Davis stuff from the Montgomery funeral, is that going to go by the death mask?
Yes, we already have it in the case.
Good.
So there's a huge Davis collection right there now. Not only do we have the Davis death mask from Beauvoir on loan, we have his rocking chair that was from his Memphis home. We have a silver Confederate seal that belonged to Verena Davis. We have his portrait that was painted by a Tennessee artist. It's on loan from the Tennessee State Museum. And we have a wooden bowl turned out of wood from his birth site. And that's in the display case. And we're adding all these Davis family items that Mike Dunn has loaned to us. So we'll have a pretty good Davis collection right there in that one area. And just outside this display case is his monument.
That's awesome.
And these are some newspapers that came in with the Mike Dunn collection. And this is the one that talks about Verena Davis's death in New York. And then I think there's a second one that talks about, so this is an 1862 paper that has the inaugural address of President Davis.
Yeah, and that's not his, because everybody thinks of the Montgomery inauguration. They don't think about the inauguration because Montgomery was provincial president. They don't think about the actual February of '62 when he was president.
Correct. Yep. So, it's kind of rare to have a Confederate newspaper at all now. So,
Right.
So just to have one at all is something. But this one has the inaugural address of President Davis, which makes it extra special. And a veil that came with the collection, it was recovered from the Ohio River from a Confederate ship. Now, the name of the Confederate ship is not given with the veil, so I still have some research to do on this one. But it's a veil. It has a beautiful toll to it, I guess you would call it. But it's just I want to, every time I walk by it, I want to ring it. So I'm gonna have to put that in a case so I can control myself. And these are some of the books. This is a new set written by Verena Davis about President Davis. And it is signed not by Verena inside, but it's signed by Joel Hayes. This is an inscription for another book that we have here. And there's a signed by President Davis.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. I may not have taken a picture of it, actually, but there's another one that's signed by V. Jefferson Davis, which is how Verena signed her name as a widow. And so I may not have even taken a picture of the inscription, but it's signed by one of the Hayes children to the Jefferson Davis's grandson, William Hayes. So a really first edition book, but they signed it and inscribed the book in 1917. So into the 20th century. The other books that were included, I think, this one is really cool. This was the story that came along with it said that a servant of the Confederate White House in Richmond saved this book from being destroyed by the Federal Army as they came into town. It was actually used by the Secretary of War, Cooper, and that's a CDV of Cooper on top. So pretty neat. And that's the one that actually has Jefferson Davis's signature in it as well.
Boom, perfect.
There you go.
There we go. Good job, Lucas. You got it figured out.
You know, I try. I do. Here's the next book.
And this was I was really curious this one because this has nothing to do with the war. Bob Taylor was a post-war governor of Tennessee. And inside is the inscription that says V. Jefferson Davis. So this was given to Verena Davis, or at least belonged to her library. And it says, I think William Davis Hayes also signed it, which is Jefferson Davis's grandson.
Yeah.
And the next one.
This was a book of poetry, and I really have some work to do on this. And somebody that has time to research this, if you want to, I want to know who William E. Lane is, because it says it came from the library of Jeff Davis in 1863. So was William E. Lane a Yankee that stole this from Jefferson Davis's library, or how did he come into possession of it? So.
Well, I'm willing to bet that because, Vicksburg fell and that's where President Davis was from. The Federals did occupy. So I'm willing to bet it did come from Briarfield. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So I'd like to know if William E. Lane was a Yankee soldier. And we'll find out here. And this was a really nice book. Miss Snyder. Mrs. Snyder was an author of post-war Nashville. She wrote a number of books about the war, and she addressed this one to Jefferson Davis as she gifted her book to him. This was, I think, a book called My Scrapbook, and of course, she was from Nashville and got this to President Davis. But another cool Jefferson Davis piece to add to that case.
Yeah.
Commander Hurley, as soon as he was finished with the reunion in Houston, he and his wife came up to see us at the museum a few weeks ago. And they brought us I think 13 flags that were from the Texas UCV. And one of them has been beautifully conserved, as you can see in the nice case there. And the rest are in those archival boxes, and one's rolled up there to the right. But 13 Confederate battle flags.
Cool.
And that's the really for us. And Commander Hurley commented on this, and I want to echo what he said. A lot of us argue about the use of the battle flag. I love the battle flag. But some people say, why don't we change to the first national flag or change to this flag? These are UCV flags, and all of them are the St. Andrew's Cross. All of them are the battle flag. So that's the flag that the veterans themselves are meeting under. So why should we change that?
Right. And there was a video that we debunked a couple of months ago that dealt with that actually the guy says an outright lie saying that the veterans never used the flag after the war. And yet, he flips 2 seconds later to a picture of a veteran holding the flag at a reunion.
Oh, he was a genius.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our last photo of the evening, Adam.
Oh, is it? Okay. That's what we have. All right. This is Eric Prevetti and Tennessee compatriot Rich Garcia. And Rich Garcia brought to us another reunion flag. This one is from the 1934 Chattanooga reunion. And he also brought with it an original UCV program. And I think the program was from an earlier reunion, maybe 1930, maybe even be earlier than that. But two great pieces that we're happy to add to our collection. These were given to Rich Garcia to bring to our museum, and he met Eric Prevetti up there, and the rest is history. Now they're in our museum, in our collection, and we'll be happy to display them.
Yeah, didn't Rich meet the guy at a recruiting event?
He did, absolutely. So that goes to show that that's where making these connections, just getting our name out there and meeting